Greetings, denizens of the tri-state area. Jacob Weil here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Dragon, I know what we're going to do today. We're going to activate the Recap-inator and discuss my favorite cartoon, Phineas and Ferb. That's right, in honor of the 15th anniversary and in preparation for the upcoming revival, I'm guiding Blue Dragon 5 here through this series, experiencing his reactions, watching it for the first time, and reliving my summer memories through the years. Today's episodes are Mommy and You Hear Me and Road Trip. But before we get into the episode, Dragon, you know about Annecy, right? The international animation festival.
Not that one, no.
It's like I believe it's held in France actually, but either way, apparently they debuted a preview of the 5th season there.
Oh,
and according to reports and everything, it seems like the season 5 will take place a year after the end of the show.
Well, that I did hear.
All right. Like I said, apparently it was confirmed by what they showed at Annecy. Whether or not it actually is confirmed by that, or if it's just rumors, who knows? But we do have some news regarding it, so that's pretty exciting in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
All right. Not much else is known, probably because it was a closed event, but other than that. All right, so in the first episode, Candace injures her ankle, and the boys try to contact a Cosmonaut. Meanwhile, Doof has adventures with Soup. How you feeling about this one?
Well, a couple things. One, with the episode of Mommy, Can You Hear Me? First thing I'm thinking of that scene from Deadpool 2.
Oh no.
Admittedly, really, Deadpool's been on my mind lately because of the upcoming movie. I'm obsessed with all the peaks of the Wolverine costume. I'm very excited for it.
Well, aren't we all, Dragon?
But regardless, just this episode does make me think about Deadpool's very hilarious observation that "Papa, can you hear me?" sounds suspiciously like "Do you want to build a snowman?" from Frozen.
Yep, kind of does.
Anyway, so this episode's pretty much Rear Window with Candace, and meets 2001. That's essentially what the episode is. So that's kind of a fun combination.
Yeah, a lot of this episode wouldn't make sense to people who aren't aware of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, I can't even escape Marvel when I'm listening to a Phineas and Ferb stream. Like, clearly you, guys, I thought you've watched several streams with us before. Like, we reference Marvel pretty much all the time.
Especially ice cream, and in relation to Marvel.
That too, yeah. I mean, I jest, of course, but
yeah.
So yeah, like as I was saying, pretty much anyone who's unfamiliar with 2001 would be very confused by a lot of the imagery in this episode.
Yeah, it's funny. There was something recently in regards to 2001 that cracked me up. The Albert Brooks documentary that's on HBO.
Defend Your Life? Defending My Life?
That's the one. There's this really great moment. There's this really great moment where Albert Brooks, basically, I believe, I forget if it was. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. It wasn't The Muse. It was the. Oh God, I'm blanking on the name of the movie because unfortunately I haven't seen this one either. God, anyway, the point being there's this Albert Brooks movie. It's one where he's he's falling in love with a woman. It's a romantic comedy, like pretty much most of his movies are. And anyway, there's a scene basically. Not this scene in the movie, but basically the response to the movie was, everyone was like, all the critics were like, "Oh man, like how does he end up falling in love with sorry, I'm botching this completely. But let's just say in a roundabout way, the studio demanded that he put a scene in there, like a therapy scene, to explain why she's with this guy that drives her nuts, and it's the fact that it's a very honest, very Albert Brooksian relationship, where it's kind of this very honest, very realistic, neurotic relationship between what attracts a woman to a neurotic, hilarious guy like an Albert Brooks type. And Stanley Kubrick called him after getting wind of this. And he basically said, like, hey, don't let basically the movie, it sounds like the movie could have done a little better or something like that. But the point being, like, the audiences loved it, but, like, something was getting in the way, or he heard like this. He got wind of what happened. And Kubrick basically offered some sympathy, saying, like, hey, listen, the choices you made were great. Don't let anyone tell you anything different. It's like that they already, like, the industry kind of decided against you on that. That's not your fault. Basically Kubrick then went on to say, like, how did you do it, man? How did you how did you pull that off? In the writing of the relationships and everything. And now Brooks said, how did I pull that off? How did you pull off a guy walking upside down in 2001? Just a little funny anecdote.
It is pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to deny that it is actually pretty funny.
Is the fact that Stanley Kubrick, basically everyone loves Albert Brooks, is the fact even the great Stanley Kubrick loved Albert Brooks.
Well, that's definitely a testament.
It is. Okay, yes, moving on to the episode.
So yeah, Candace is indisposed with her injured ankle.
In other words, Candace injured her leg.
My leg. Yes.
Yep.
Oh God.
So yeah, she's indisposed. She's bedridden. Basically, she's got to keep the weight off the ankle. The boys give her some stuff to occupy her to protect her from cabin fever,
including like this long the 24 series book series 24 series book that they wrote.
28 volume novel.
20 volume novel.
28 volume novel.
Yeah, that.
Yes, so.
And it's like every genre known to man.
Basically covers all the genres.
Yeah.
Also gave her a number of fun props. Also some helpful toys like Mindy Mimic, like a remote control helicopter, and some closed circuit video screens.
Convenient.
Yeah, that's not going to pay off at all.
Nope.
So basically, this is all setting up the Rear Window of it all. Of course, for the kids out there, Rear Window was a movie that starred. Sorry, there was a movie that was remade to star Christopher Reeve. Originally was it featured Jimmy Stewart, and basically it's about a man who's in a wheelchair. Basically, he's kind of laid up after an injury, and he basically is kind of like looking through. Would never hold up today because it's very creepy today. But basically, just didn't use himself. Like, oh, I'm just going to look in on the neighbors, some binoculars, and he witnesses some sketchy stuff that kind of leads to a psychodrama of sorts.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
The classic Hitchcock movie.
There you go. Anyway, so point being, that's kind of your setup there, where he can't actually be in the action in person, but a little voyeuristically he does. So we made Candace into a voyeur.
But in a different way, of course.
Yes, in a different way.
And not as creepy way.
Nope. Just a semi-creepy way.
I mean, especially the way she crawled down the stairs.
Yep.
That's more obsessive than creepy, though.
There you go.
Yeah. It's like, so yeah, meanwhile, the boys are preparing a happy birthday present for their cosmonaut friend.
Yes, Sergey, right?
Yep. I'm sure you can tell who voiced him, right?
Tell us who voiced him, Jacob.
Swampsky Marshkarov. Otherwise known as Jeff Swampy Marsh.
There you go.
No, I mean, seriously, if you notice in the credits, featuring the Russian vocal styles of Swampsky Marshkarov.
Funny. That's very funny.
It is, yes.
All right, so it's his birthday. He's doing a wormhole expedition.
Yep, and the boys are and he's waiting for the boys to wish him a happy birthday, which they're going to do by speaking into this device, which will amplify it into this huge stratospheric image that he can see.
It's just funny that they mentioned like a cosmonaut might be kind of like hovering above them, and Baljeet's first concern is, I hope they don't empty the sanitation system.
Even Buford calls him out on that one.
Exactly. Just that's really funny.
It's like, that's where your mind goes, really?
Yep.
Like, Buford of all people.
They have to imagine something must have happened to Baljeet at some point.
Probably.
Yeah, it's like that scene from RV.
Oh,
You
no.
may think I'm jumping ahead, but I'm connecting the dots.
As you can probably guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's like, so what is that darn platypus up to?
Good question. Well, we know he's going to be in a pickle.
Literally,
Yes, so he's been sent.
because Doof has basically been buying deli, like a bunch of deli materials, like deli meats and soups.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, apparently when he went to one of the like Tony's diner or whatever, he had he thought he saw a fly in his soup, and the guy insisted it was a raisin, which still raisins do not belong in chicken noodle soup anyway. He went to an entomologist to get it checked out. It's like,
And
it's
he
a
was half
raisin.
right. It's a raisin, but had he stayed around a little bit longer.
On the back there was a fly.
Yep. So Doofenshmirtz has his vowed revenge against Tony's Deli by going to
Another deli.
Aaron's Deli. Going to
Yeah.
Aaron's Deli. Basically, Aaron, thankfully, very luckily, had a special going on
Half a gallon of soup free
with
with a
every $40 purchase.
yeah. So
Which
it's like,
means there's a lot of deli stuff in Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
yep. And you could tell how, and I can only imagine how much he actually spent, considering all the meat and soup that he had. Because how many? That's definitely more than like That's way more than 10 gallons of soup.
What cracks me up is that in the chicken noodle soup, you have like full chickens.
Like full like rotisserie chickens.
I love that so much. The design things is so funny. Like that's definitely chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, but like with whole chicken in it.
Yeah.
No longer those little bits of chicken. No, you get the whole chicken.
Yeah.
Like some pretty interesting food animation this episode.
There you go.
This collection of episodes.
My favorite beat in the whole episode. I love when they're throwing when Doofenshmirtz is armed with deli meats and deli foods. He throws the 2-day-old bagels, and the 2-day-old bagels are just like these throwing like lead blackjacks or something at him.
As he mentions, harder than Bessemer steel.
Exactly. I love these. He's throwing these 2-day-old bagels, and they're oh god, they're like throwing weapons. It's great.
And apparently Perry managed to make an interesting sandwich out of that called the Gunter Flagendorf. The Gunter Flagendorf. To pair it, which obviously is not a real sandwich, but looks like it would be pretty good.
Oh, you know that, Jay? Did you ever watch those clips I sent you?
Which ones?
You know, like the food challenge stuff.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah, you know, at some point they're gonna make one for that.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they did. We need to see Babish make that one.
Yeah, but the food challenge is more authentic, though.
Yeah, I know.
You saw how like 1-to-1 those.
I was like, yeah, I did.
The food in that food challenge was.
Yeah, it was quite interesting to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have much. I haven't watched them since he sent it to me, so I don't remember much else about them other than like one of them was like the foods from Ghibli, right?
Yep.
Yep. So I don't have much to say on it because I don't remember.
All right.
Sorry.
So also, let's talk about how Perry escaped.
He took off his hat,
Which is great. The Doof just thought he put like an innocent platypus in this pickle.
yeah, It was like, hey, I don't know where that other platypus went.
It's funny.
Oh god. Like basically, that's the foolproof way for Perry to get out of a trap. Just take off his hat, and Doof will just think it's a regular platypus.
It's foolproof.
Yeah, I would like to see Babish attempt to recreate one of the iconic dishes like the peanut chicken. So peanutty, you won't even taste the chicken. Oh god. So it's like, so basically Doof's plan with the soup is to basically create a high pressure stream to basically wipe the deli off the face of the earth.
Or smear it.
That too, but he says it could technically take out a whole city block. Which technically means it's like one of his more dangerous schemes.
Well, it's very hot soup.
Hot soup! Sorry, I was watching Rise of the Ninja Turtles recently.
Please enjoy the soup. Actually, no. Please enjoy the food. I was thinking about the other thing. More hot soup for your armpits. Ah!
And of course, there's the Seinfeld soup.
Oh, there's a lot of soup gags on Seinfeld. Of course, you have the soup Nazi, but beyond that, you also have the Kenny Banya soup. Fred Schroller wrote that one. That was the basically that was the gag where Jerry owes Banya. Banya gives Jerry this Armani suit that he doesn't even really want, but he's like giving it away, and he just wants to shut Banya up. Says, "Yeah, sure, I'll take the Armani suit." He says, "Can you believe I don't even want anything for it?" He's like, "Okay, you can take me out to dinner. Basically, you can buy me a meal." and Jerry's something he reluctantly, he hates spending time with Banya. He takes him out. He's gonna buy him dinner, and he's, the waiter's like, okay, what do you have? And then when it gets to Banya, you know what? I'm just gonna have some soup. Not a hot dog for lunch. I'm not that hungry. I'll save the meal for another time. That's what sets Jerry off. It's like another time. It's like, I had a hot dog for lunch. Like, no, Banya. It's just like, but you're supposed to buy me a meal. It's like, I'm not preventing you from eating or anything you want. But I don't want anything but soup. I had the hot dog. Who told you to have the hot dog? It gets this ridiculous argument. The fact that someone is going to be forced that because this guy's getting soup and insisting soup does not count as a meal. It's like an entree essentially. It's really funny.
I mean, soup can be very filling.
It can. Hey, yeah.
I like soup.
Well, yeah. One other soup tangent, then we're gonna refocus. Now, folks, this episode's gonna be full of tangents, food-related tangents, because both episodes do have a very food-related basis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the tick, the Amazon tick specifically. I think the line may have made it into the animated one as well. I think it's like one of those things where basically the first episode of the tick and all the iterations essentially adapts the same story every time. But anyway, so the one in the Amazon tick there's this really good line where the tick just kind of like looks into Arthur's eyes. He's like, "You got the soup, don't you, Arthur?" Which is always a great line because it just summarizes that, he's got something with such a weird way of putting it, but also such a weird way of putting it that is adjacent to the soup catchphrase, so to the spoon catchphrase that goes very well with the soup.
The soup.
Yep. Spoon!
Soup!
You got the soup, don't you, Arthur?
It's like, speaking of soup, and it goes with, how bread goes well with soup?
So does crackers?
Yeah, well, the most recent episode of The Tick I watched was Tick versus the Bread Master.
Yes. There you go. Yeah. The old Roddy McDowell action. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's not a tangent without a 90s superhero comedy mention.
I just love the fact like the bread works like bombs.
Delicious bombs, nonetheless, but bombs.
This the Tick using that rolling pin on himself was just ridiculous.
After he ate it.
Yeah, after he ate it, yeah, the diffuser, he's bloating up.
Oh God. It's a ridiculous show.
Okay, anyway.
Yeah. So that tangent's over.
Yeah.
It's like so Sergei continues his celebration in space, not seeing the incoming asteroid.
Also, we've had a lot of 2001 gags, like like tossing, tossing something to Phineas, and like the bum
bone.
bum bum bum, yeah, the bone,
Specifically
just like the
bone,
opening of 2001.
which is that's basically ripped straight from 2001.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea. Yeah.
Yep.
So speaking of food animation, we have cake in a tube.
Yep. Looks like pink toothpaste.
I know. That's how the astronaut food works. It's all in tubes and stuff.
I know.
I love the gag of like I'm not an idiot, It's just I have like it's not a real flame. It's a fake candle.
Yeah, because you don't want to light candles up on the space station.
Nope.
Yeah, it just wouldn't be a very good idea.
No.
And then the whole drinking the water with the whole drinking pull our water together and take a sip from the ball.
Very Bugs Life logic.
I mean, they even mentioned like ants in a storm.
Yep.
So it's like so Candace meanwhile tries to enlist Stacy's help, which Stacy resigns. She's like, I'm such an enabler. Or you feel bad for Stacy here because he's like, I'm just enabling my friend here.
Yeah, so Stacy is tasked with the busting. She's tasked to just go up to Linda, tap her on the shoulder, and just tell her to look behind her.
Which she actually tries to do, but doesn't work.
To be fair, Stacy does exactly what Candace instructs her to. Problem: Stacy has no follow through at all. No follow through at all. Stacy will achieve the task and then walk off.
Yeah. It's no wonder her mother gets on her case.
Yep.
So Candace tries other methods, including basically trying to stay for boredom first off, and then realizing you can use the Mindy Mimic doll and the helicopter to get Linda to turn around.
She MacGyver's this.
Pretty much, yes. It's well, we have a question from Aquatad Dragon.
Okay, I know the question's going to be, who is MacGyver? Okay, I'm going to tell you who MacGyver was this really clever agent who basically he kind of combined things that weren't really intended to be combined that would end up saving the day. You're welcome. Anyway, so what was the actual question?
Who can bust the boys better than Candace?
Who?
Who indeed?
Kelly!
Kelly! Alright.
The second best Kelly ever.
After Gene Kelly.
After Gene Kelly. Second best Kelly ever.
But remember, the Kelly is her first name, whereas Kelly's his last name.
That's true. So de facto, best Kelly.
Oh yeah. Whose first name is Kelly?
Yeah. Who?
Exactly. So we don't see Stacy basically for the rest of the episode, and after that point.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we do see her more, and there are episodes that do focus on her again in the future. So we haven't seen. So we will be getting more times to appreciate Kelly Who. So Candace, meanwhile, with the MacGyvered communication device, it goes wrong, and accidentally tells the cosmonauts to turn around.
Which ends up saving him from an asteroid.
Yep. And then they go into a wormhole, which was just right above them.
Well, they were looking for it.
They didn't have to go very. They didn't have to look very far, though, did they?
Well, they were having a really fun party.
Yep. And so at that point, Candace is crawling down the stairs. Basically, she's
as if it's like the scene from Misery.
Yeah, except less terrifying.
I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of scary. Like she gets out of bed, like she's hurt her leg.
I mean, yeah, it's painful, but
my leg.
At least hers was just jumping down the stairs and not basically being clubbed in by a depraved lunatic.
Well, no. I just mean like, he has to crawl around a bit in that movie. That. I think that's literally what they might be referencing here, like the way he has to get down those stairs.
I know. I've seen Misery Dragon. It's one of my favorite Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah.
Let's just say she definitely earned the Oscar for her performance in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which is still one of the rare cases where like a horror movie or / thriller actually won an Oscar in that category.
There you go.
So it was well earned. So, I mean, you could call it scary, maybe. I don't really consider it.
But it's desperate all the same. She desperately wants to bust her brother. She's gonna crawl out of bed and risk never dancing again. Tiny dancing again, that is.
And she manages to get out there. And she's to get out there and alert Linda only after the so-called asteroid was deflected by Doof's chicken noodle soup.
Mm-hmm.
Even the universe is conspiring against it again.
Yep.
This time, the universe literally conspired against her.
Well, not yet.
Well, an object of the universe, anyway.
There you go.
And the chicken noodle soup forcibly took away the projector, and basically they got free pie for helping with the yard.
There you go. See, they got free pie. Someone else that we're going to get to did not get their free pie.
No, they didn't.
No, he never did. No. That's a pieless person.
Oh, no. That's a travesty.
Yep.
But we'll get there.
Yep.
So Phineas tries to instead, call Sergei, which they probably could have just done in the first place.
But he's not able to pick up because he's in a wormhole.
It's like, I'm currently traveling through time. I can't come to the phone right now. The boys could have just easily called him in the first place at that point. But
but again, that Phineas, he's just like, no, we gotta do it the long and hard way. No.
He's got to go above.
I gotta waste time saying, "Hi, Candace." I'm waving back, even if you can't really, you can't say anything.
Yep. He's never one to just go for the simple solution in these kind of cases, is he?
Yep.
So it's like, but Ferb's
okay, listen, Phineas, we need you to call 911. Can you do it? Okay, so a bill of smoke signal. No, Phineas, just call 911. Okay, so I'm gonna type in Roman numerals and in a makeshift rudimentary radio signal. Like, no, Phineas, you pick up the phone and dial 3 numbers. It's not that hard.
Like, or he tries to build the phone to call it with.
It's like, I'm going to invent the phone, like Phineas.
It's like, hey, Dragon, I have a question for you. What's the number for 911?
Let's see. Okay, it's I don't think it's a 4. Looks a little like the 4 though.
Like, I think it has. I
Not
think it has like.
2.
I think it has like the loop in front on top of it, right? Like it's it's like doesn't it
Maybe.
like is it a 6 or is it an upside down 6?
Maybe it's 477. Could that be it?
Or is it 4? Is
That
it
looks close,
411?
right?
411 maybe?
No, 411's gossip, Jacob. Come on, man, wake up. Okay, we're talking about 911, not 411. 911. I'm pretty sure there's a 1 in 8 chance there's a 9 in there.
All right. Speaking of like Greek and Roman letters, you remember in Hercules? Somebody call IXII.
There you go.
Yes, which are technically Roman numerals and not Greek ones.
That is quite funny.
Yes, it is, and that was the point of that was the point. To be funny. Also, you're thinking of 912. There it is. Thanks for the save, Aquatad. But that tangent aside, like now we'll never be able to wish Sergei happy birthday. Well, never say never. And then probably the most strangest ending to any of these episodes. Especially
Yeah,
to
this
those,
one's gonna be nightmare fuel.
especially to ones that have not seen 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
It's like past Jupiter and beyond time. Sergei is resting on an older Sergei is resting on a bed in a room, and then in comes this mysterious light, and in it, what we see is an orb full of like a giant floating fetus Ferb, wishing him happy birthday. Such they remembered such nice boys. And to anyone who hasn't seen 2001, that ending makes no sense.
Nope.
and it's probably safe to say that somewhere, even those that have seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, it still doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think the funny realization is that actually that card was missent. That was sent from Ferb for Vanessa's birthday, but did not reach her.
Well, it makes you wonder how Ferb even managed to do that in the first place.
Well, he had time.
Yeah, plenty of it, I guess.
Yeah. Also, we should mention one of the key things that defeated Doofenshmirtz, antacid.
The only thing that can combat deli foods.
I love that. That's a good joke. I love that.
I ate a lot of deli meats for on sandwiches and stuff like that, and yeah, it makes sense. I really need to consider more antacids.
I've never had antacid.
It's like, yeah, not really me neither, but I know people that like swear by Tums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ferb is a man of many talents. That he is. And of course, we have this from when we were talking about misery earlier. The gritty room would finish the point of ball at Candace's baseball bat at Candace's other like, Ferb, I know we're gonna break today.
There you go. You take the existing scene, but you turn it just slightly to the side. They're just like, "Hi, Candace," just like it's very like seemingly
like
peppy, just kind of like friendly yet oblivious kind of Phineas. But if you look at it though, something sinister.
Look at him at a certain angle. If you look at him at a certain angle.
Yep, it's the shape of evil.
And isn't that a square? Yep. Isn't a square the shape of evil?
Maybe. Yes, Jacob. It's the shape of evil. You know what makes a square? You know what two shapes make a square, punk? Do you know?
Triangles.
Exactly.
And Dragon, do you know who wrote what? Do you know who wrote the episode where that line appeared in?
I can only wonder.
Dan did.
Evil.
He wrote that episode. So yeah, he was one of the writers of that episode. That means he's also partially responsible for "My name's not Rick." And these were white when I bought them.
Yep.
I don't know if he's like specifically responsible for those lines, but he did help write it.
He took the laurels. He'll take the blame.
It's like Fright Cook Games is still one of my favorite episodes.
It's pretty great.
It is.
I just love that montage. The montage that gets us to the wrestling ring.
Yep. That's like all the different
Many
events.
contests later. Dun, 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 dun. It's the fruit hats and everything. Yep.
Yeah, that's a great one. I love that episode. All right. But so there's a connection there, the shape of evil. He knew. And he had already technically created Phineas by that point, so it was already in his mind.
The depraved lunatic.
Coincidence? Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's probable.
But anyway, so I think we've run the gamut on this episode, so time to move on to the road trip. Time for a little bit of home on the road. So, how you feeling here?
I love this episode. Love it so much.
It is pretty great.
Yeah.
It's definitely the better of the two episodes. It's like it has obviously it has the road trip aspect, it has the no stop truck stop, and even has Doofenshmirtz explanation and like what causes all these things to go self-destruct. Well, there you go. So it has it all. So, why don't you start us off?
It's a great premise, summer RV trip. Candace is going stir crazy because the boys haven't, not just because of this, but she's pointed out the boys haven't done anything bustable during the whole trip.
Well, she's actually kind of happy about it.
That's what I mean. She's happy about it. As I was saying, she's pointed up. She's not really going stir crazy, but it is manifesting itself in a little bit of sleep busting. So,
Which apparently has happened more than once, according to Linda.
Which is a really good idea. So, and they haven't stopped at a road stop diner, as Candace just kind of says, "Oh, at least they haven't gone to one of those cheesy road stop diners along the way." And the boys,
some of those diners actually have some of the best food, though.
Well, yeah, that's the point, Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Candace doesn't know what she's talking about. There's a newsflash for you. I know. I mean, I know it's the first time you've ever seen this show. But
in other news, water, wet.
Candace often is wrong and doesn't know what she's talking about, Jacob.
Like I said, water, wet.
Crime in Gotham.
Water.
Lawrence Fishburne, cool.
In other news, water, wet.
I already said that.
I know.
All right.
But it applies, right?
It does. It absolutely applies.
It's like water, wet. Lawrence Fishburne, cool.
There you go.
Crime in Gotham. Candace Candace not knowing what she's talking about.
Yep. All right. So. Yeah. So this gives you an idea. We have this again. Creepy look from Phineas. So this one is, come on, this one you can't even fight on this one. This one's like, it's like everything just kind of stops and slow down and then gets echoey. The whole thing, like road stop diner.
It's like, yeah, he's just staring at Ferb. Like, do you think you thinking what I'm thinking, Ferb?
Exactly, but without dialogue, it looks all the creepier.
It's like, did you even hear me? Well, I did at first, but then you got all echoey and far away.
Exactly. That's like, okay, so, Candace a little weird out here.
Like he wasn't even listening to his sister.
Yep. Oh, Candace, I was thinking of something else. I know we're gonna do today. Like imagine the whole I know you did last summer. Like, I know we're gonna do today, all sinister underpinnings and everything.
Meanwhile, we figure out what Doof is up to. He's apparently he's been spotted in the area.
Okay, I love during the mission brief, Perry's in a chair that's like in the engine and undercarriage of the RV.
And the boat and the bumps keep knocking it down further.
Yeah.
until he completely loses the chair and monograms none the wiser about it.
Love it.
Then he reroutes the GPS to go get closer to Doof.
So Lawrence is blindly following the GPS.
Yep. It's like, all right, there we go. And we actually have Lawrence interact with Doofenshmirtz.
Now this is crazy good, but this is crazy.
Oh yeah, like do all the trucks. Where did you learn all this truck lingo? From the truck driving hits from 1975 to 1975.
It's doing it for Linda. Linda likes kind of truck stop talk from
Lawrence. It's like you earned some manly points in my book. Woohoo! You lost them again.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He had earned some manly points, but had to lose them immediately.
Yep.
R.I.P. Lawrence. R.I.P.
Well, he's not dead.
I know, but his dignity is.
Hey.
I'm just kidding, Dragon.
Okay.
It's a joke.
Yeah. Come on, that's Max Modem, for pity's sake.
Yeah, I know. You can't take the cool out of Max Modem.
Yeah. He made that style work. And we all know who Max Modem is. You remember those albums?
Oh, yeah. And especially his hit single Alien Heart.
Yeah.
I heard he's making a comeback tour.
Well, yeah. And where have you been? You been under a rock?
No, that was last week.
Yeah, you're right. Who are you people?
I mean, to reference that episode, Patrick was completely reasonable in asking that question.
He was.
It's like, I mean, you come home after grocery shopping, eating ice cream, you see a bunch of people hiding in your house. You're like, who are you people?
All right, so let's just take a break and just talk about the ice cream that Patrick had. So, it's funny in Fry Cook games. We know he's like, he's like the strawberry cone with the chocolate dip.
Yep, but in that episode, he looked like a mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Yeah.
So that means Patrick does like a variety of flavors.
As we know from Better Call Saul, the Bluebell mint chip ice cream is a huge symbol of criminality.
Okay then.
Yep.
As you can tell, I have not yet watched Better Call Saul.
That is why you fail.
Yes, I know. I apologize for my failure.
There you go. So,
we can say I'll pretend I understood that reference.
All right, so we have the inflatable Perry gag, by the way.
It's like Perry inflates basically a version of himself. It's like, oh, there's Perry.
All right, let's see. So again, so we have Doofenshmirtz on the CB with Lawrence as Misfortune.
You're like, no, not Miss. It's like just it's one word. Misfortune. So what Doof is up to is actually I thought was a pretty clever idea. What makes all of his devices self-destruct? Boom juice.
Yep, and he got a great deal on Boom Juice. The caveat being he's got to transport himself in a big rig.
Yep. What could possibly go wrong?
I love the detail that inside the big rig there's this little danger icon that just turns down.
Yep, it's like the imminent explosion radar.
And the trap is simply a seatbelt, like a regular seatbelt that Perry should probably be wearing.
Yeah. You gotta be safe.
Yep.
I wonder if that was mandated or they're just a gag they decided to throw in there.
Well, I mean, it's going all the way back. It's been mandated for years. 60s Batman, they got read the riot act over Batman and Robin not having seatbelts in the first season.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm saying. So you'll notice, like, you see him buckling up after the pilot.
It's like forget getting to the crime quickly. We have to put on our seatbelt first.
I mean, there are a lot of really great, law-abiding Batman Robin gags. My two favorites have always been, Batman like lecturing Robin on on the parking meter. It's like, Batman. I don't think anyone's gonna put any officer's gonna put a boot on the Batmobile, or you're gonna ticket the Batmobile. Robin, we don't. Robin, while that may be true, this money goes to fund, pay taxes on roads and schools. It's like, oh gosh, Batman, I never thought of it that way. It's okay, Robin, let's go.
That still did that, and yet it still didn't help Gotham City at all.
What might help that Gotham City? Not the ordinary Gotham City, but
Okay, fair enough.
Well, either way, then you have like the other one being, in the Cape Crusader animated movie, they kind of send up to that where it's like they're trying to get somewhere in a hurry, and it's like, come on, Dad, we have to run. Like, but jaywalking's a serious crime, Robin. You're right, Batman. We should walk and look both ways. Look both ways, and just like walking, like they're waving to the passersby as they're just walking leisurely across the crosswalk to the crosswalk.
I think one of my favorite jokes from that, it's not tied to the Good Samaritan or anything. It's actually when Batman was actually turning, more evil and dark.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, when he actually disappeared silently from the meeting. It's like,
yes,
how un-Batman-like.
I love it so much. That's my joke. I love it.
And that movie's brilliant, by the way.
It's so great. There's just so much good stuff. Just Batman's just chewing at Aunt Harriet.
Yep, that's like what everybody wanted them to do for the longest time.
Yep, just so great.
Yep,
That movie's perfect.
And a highlight basically it also a highlight of like how close that Batman is to basically being any kind of Batman, dark Batman.
Yep.
Anyway, we should get back to the episode at hand.
Do we have to?
I mean, if you want to talk, we talked about Return of the Cape Crusaders before, right? You guys probably did a whole video dedicated to it.
Yes, we did. Okay, so let's see. So the boys, what are those rascals up to, Jacob? What did they do? What do they do now?
Well, they get it. Well, first off, they apparently jerry-rigged their RV chairs to go above the roof.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a delivery for a bunch of like coffee, fatback, and seasoned grills, that kind of stuff.
So,
like, aren't you a little young to doing all this? Like, let's face it, age isn't the issue here, is it? You got a point, kid.
Yes, I do.
It's like, yeah, it's more like the fact that it's a literal mobile delivery. Like he's delivering directly to a RV.
Yep.
That's obviously the issue there. But I mean, they say deliver anywhere, right?
That's true.
So there you go. It's like anywhere is here. So there we go.
Admittedly, this episode did remind me a little bit of something I saw recently. Mind you, this came way before it. But it was then again, this is based off a game that might predate the Phineas and Ferb episode. So I don't know. Twisted Metal, the show Anthony Mackie adapts the old PlayStation game.
Oh yeah, I know what Twisted Metal is.
Yeah, so they adapted into a show, which is I thought was pretty good. Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick developed, the Deadpool guys.
Yeah, the game definitely predates it. Like the first game was back on like the PlayStation 1.
That's the thing. So there's this section of that show, which I presume is from the game, where basically it's this there's this like kind of convoy of sorts, like a convoy of like this whole community on wheels that never stops. Everything's done on the go, like they never stop moving.
I said I don't think that's part of the games, because the games really didn't have much of a story.
Well, go figure. The point being, in the show they did that. So I mean, again, I'm going to go off on a limb and just say it was done for the show. So there's was not a basis for this episode. I'm just saying.
I know. I mean, I have yet to see Twisted Metal because I don't have Peacock, but because I don't have Peacock yet. It's like the only major streaming service I don't have. But the thing is, like, I mean, that could have been referenced in one of the games, but the games are more just vehicular combat with like vehicular combat stories and like opening text and videos at the end, just depending how the ending went. So like I said, I don't think that part is particularly from any of the games, so it might be an original thing for the series itself.
Okay.
The thing is, but like I said, I've never actually played any of the Twisted Metals. But I might watch the show now since you said it was good.
I think it's good, yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I think it's getting a season 2, I'm pretty sure.
All right. But with all that stuff out of the way, the boys build one of those truck stop diners.
So this is great. The fact they built a truck stop diner. 2, the fact that it's on wheels, and 3, the fact that it's like above above Linda and Lawrence's RV.
Yeah,
and they're completely none the wiser. That's perfect.
It's amazing that it doesn't like the extra weight doesn't slow down the RV at all.
Yeah,
it's a pretty strong RV. You got to admit, like it's able to hold in like so many extra trucks and a whole restaurant on top of it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I love the idea that it's a literal mobile diner, and it's a genius idea.
I love it so much. I love the design of it. I love the idea of it. I like the diner of it all. I just love everything about it. And of course, like the whole truck stop kind of vibe. Very reminiscent of Kid Cosmic.
Except not, Cosmic.
Yeah, not Cosmic, but,
It's another show on my watch list.
Yep.
Especially now since they announced the new stuff from a Kraken Cartoon Network again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see like the stuff for the new show he's working on?
Foster's
Playtime, yeah.
I mean, I saw an image for it, and I heard it's just kind of blue and Madam Foster, but no, I had nothing beyond that.
Well, yeah, that's basically all that's revealed. Like, he's given some details about it, but that's about it.
Yep.
So yeah, I still need to watch Kid Cosmic. It's a shame that I haven't actually watched it yet.
But it is.
Yeah. Their temporary restaurant industry is expanding. Yes.
It's called mobile.
In this case, literally, it's like I said, I just love the idea. It's like, and of course, they have good looking food too.
That they do. As I love this, Candace goes to Boston and she ends up becoming like the de facto waitress.
The surly waitress.
I love that. I love her becoming the surly waitress. Is the bacon good? It's bacon.
It's like, it's like it all started because somebody like asked her for orange juice.
Love
and
it.
she just like started giving it to her without even thinking about it.
And again, so we have the song and montage of all the cool stuff that's on the menu and all about the place. Like it's got giant burgers, pancakes, music from 1966.
Yep. The gravy that looks like it comes out of a
cement truck.
Cement truck, and one that comes out of like a gas nozzle.
Yep.
It's like got the devil's food cake.
Yep.
And the birthday cake looks pretty good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Everything looked delicious. And even this burger that's like the size of the guy, like bigger than the guy eating it.
You just have to say to yourself, okay, it's not real. It's a cartoon. The food's not real. It's animated. It's not real food. Not real food.
It's like, I'll say it before, but you regulars know we're suckers for good food animation.
So tempting. It's like that old it's like the old thing you've seen Abbott Costello. You've seen it probably in the Three Stooges. It's an old vaudevillian thing. It's made in the cartoons like Tom and Jerry and everything. So the idea of when it's like for us with food animation, it's like when they look in the catalogs or they look in like the magazine to see the picture with the delicious turkey dinner and they eat it.
Yep, I've seen that on the.
That's us on this channel. We're looking we're looking at the cartoons like, oh, look at that Ratatouille. Oh, look at that.
The
Look at that
pizza.
Goofy movie pizza.
Pizza. Oh yeah.
Look at
Also,
that.
the way
Good evening, Tower and Cheese.
the way the cheese just oozes off of the pizza.
Look at the hot dogs from that Utica cartoon. Look at that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's like, remember you were also a big fan of the Shaped Platypus episode too.
Yep.
I think you really like their restaurant themed episodes.
I do indeed. You know
Nothing-
what? You know what? Put it on the screen, Jacob.
All right. Both. All right, both of them coming up. Here you go.
Dan Swampy, for the audience. Dan's the one pointing on the left. Swamp is the one pointing on the right.
As if they couldn't see the arrows.
I know. Well, see, we might have a foreign audience. Maybe they're reading the translation. Maybe they can't they can't read what's on the screen. They can only read what's it's like being a little CC, like the transcript on our podcast.
And they somehow understand us speaking English.
Yeah. Anyway,
but boys, I think Dragon has some words of gratitude for you.
Dan Swampy, I love it when you do stuff like this. When you do the revival, which was already done. So I'm hoping when you've worked into the revival, are more episodes like this, like a restaurant and or food related episode of this caliber. Okay, you boys can do it. I've seen you do great things. I know you're hungry to do more, and we're all hungry for you to do more, and we're just plain hungry with how good this food animation looks.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
But there is a food related tragedy in this episode.
The lack of pie.
The lack of pie.
The lack of all the food, but no pie. Linda, especially if Linda were in on it. If she were, there would be pie.
Well, technically they do have pie, just that the guy never actually got his pie.
All this great food, and he can't get his pie. It's a great meta idea, is the fact there's always pie at the end of a Phineas and Ferb adventure, and this like the one time there's no pie.
Yep. So, so back to Doof and Perry. Like, Perry obviously escapes from his trap because it's seatbelts. It's seatbelts, and you actually hear a reprise of the Mobile Mammal song.
Yep.
When he briefly takes over, which is a nice callback.
It is.
I know we were having fun talking about food, but we can get back to that. We can talk about food later. We can probably spend another 30 minutes talking about food later. I'm sure the audience would probably love that. But I mean, remember, this is the same audience that sat through us talking about 30 minutes of ice cream on Quantumania trailer.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'd really care.
And there was a lot of donut conversation on the Richard Simmons tribute.
So they've come to expect it at this point. Our built-in audience has come to expect talking about food.
So anyway, go on.
But yeah, so Perry basically tries to commandeer Doof going at it, and they get on top of the. I love how Doof literally hitches a ride with connects his truck to the connects his truck to the RV, so he could drive, and they can do all the driving, so he could just focus on the fight with Perry. And unfortunately, the fight ends up knocking loose the GPS cord, and it tells Lawrence to cut through a field of corn. Yeah, but there's danger looking at the end of this field of corn. What exactly is it, Dragon?
There's a giant kind of like crevice. There's a giant like ravine.
giant cactus gorge.
Ah, yes, Cactus Gorge. Yes, something the Evil Knievel would probably jump.
Yes, or the flying fishmonger, perhaps.
There you go.
The flying fishmonger flew over McGregor's Gorge, but what about Cactus Gorge?
Mm,
When will we ever see that?
you won't.
Exactly. Anyway, it's like, so in order to avoid their cactus fate, Perry basically turns his hat into a saw, a motor saw, and basically cuts through it.
Love that so much.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. But it's
Doesn't
awesome.
matter. It's a cool. Look at that saw.
I mean, I'm not denying it. It's cool. And so he manages to reconnect the RV, the GPS system. It's like turn to avoid plummeting into Cactus Gorge. Well, he might as well. Like, do you think Lawrence would have been all for just careening into Cactus Gorge if he hadn't been told to turn?
Jacob, do you know what time it is?
I think I do. It's
Great
Reboot time!
All right, so Lawrence was fully aware the whole time the GPS was misleading, and Lawrence actually has problems. Lottery, a little too late. He's he's been through a lot this season. He's you know what? I don't really think I contribute much to this family dynamic. It's always like, where's Barry? It's always, busting the boys. It's like, when's it gonna be Lawrence's time? It's like he needs more episodes. Like, like, hey, he's gonna be going around the flying carpet, and then what's he gonna do? He's gonna be a footstool during that. So Lawrence is like, I'm out of it. If I can't, he's kind of taking a stand against the writers here. He's like, if I can't get enough to do, I'm sending this Kareem into the Cactus Gorge.
I mean, heck, to be fair, he did say where's Perry in the previous episode.
Yeah, but there's a lot of back channeling going on to make that happen, though. Lawrence's agent had to really fight for that.
An upcoming episode kind of does focus on him and his brother, though.
Oh.
So maybe his agent actually worked it out this time, but not before he threatened them with Cactus Gorge.
There you go. They saw how bad it could get.
We don't talk about the Cactus Gorge incident. Or do we? Dragon, you're the only one that can answer that question.
Jacob, it's a very sad story.
I think I can handle it.
All right, so Lawrence was careening there. He took Linda's hand. There's this moment of understanding between them. It was like not they weren't on the same page initially, but it was like right in the last seconds before careening into the gorge. It was like, do you trust me? Well, no, you're going to send us into a Cactus Gorge. And it was like the last moment of like, all right, I've lived enough. Okay. Yeah, at least I won't have to listen to Candace say, Mom, Mom, Mom. Those are kind of our last words. And Candace's like, hey. No, actually what happens is when they went green in the Cactus Gorge, the top of the RV detached. And the boys were fine. They were sent careening to the other side. In the diner broke their fall. They had to look and see, and they were left haunted and wondering, why did Lawrence do this? Was he unhappy? Was this did he want to take out the family? They'll never know.
It's like their mom, dad, sister, and pet platypus. So, like, what happened to them? Then the gorge explodes in a fiery rain of ash and cactus.
Yep.
Then they leave wondering, what happened? Like, was it our fault? Did we do this? Was this our fault?
A little bit.
I was like, oh no! What are we gonna do? All right. Well, speaking of, back to the episode at hand. Barry does manage to separate them. Lawrence goes for careens and sends the boom juice careening down into the gorge. It's like, where's like Doof is like, it's like where nothing happens. But we, but I was like, he's like, I guess it wasn't as fault as I thought. Literally, like basically explodes the entire gorge.
Now again, gritty reboot.
All right.
That explosion happens. Death by acupuncture. Like he's impaled by everything.
I mean, that pretty much happens in the episode already.
Well, I don't know. It just falls on him. I'm saying like the force of the explosion. It's like it impales him against probably either it is an existing cactus, just impales him against whatever the next solid object is. It's like it's all fired right into him, like all over. It's like death by a million punctures
instead of a million cuts.
There you go. Well, 1,000. Like death by 1,000 punctures.
1,000 punctures, yeah.
Yep.
So that it's like this man's asking for his pie. I never got my pie. Candace goes up on the chair, grabs him, and brings them down. It's like, still never got my pie. Poor guy. He never got his pie.
Nope.
It's like Linda sees them, sees her with her arms. I was like, oh, look cute that is. They think they're having a good time together.
Yep.
But what happens next? Of course. Or do you want me to do it, or do you want to do it?
You can do it.
All right. Well, what happens next is that as Candace is trying to show it to Linda, we see that somehow that the farmer and his wife, they make a return.
I love this so much.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, it's always about you. And it's like you don't have to talk about what I want. It's like, I've always wanted to own one of those little truck stop diners. And then, of course, when they come to an overpass that basically cuts the diner away from the RV, leaving it right next to the farmer and his wife. He's like,
this is so perfect in every way. It's the fact that it was inevitable they're going to hit an overpass, and if anyone's going to wait there, if the thing's going to be intact, this is the only way it could go.
It's like, there you go. How do you do that?
Oh, it's great.
It's like, man, that guy's really lucky, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Good old Corey Burton once again.
Love him.
He can do no wrong. Or has he done wrong?
No.
You're goddamn right.
There you go.
See, I can reference too. Anyway. Yeah. If I know the reference, I can reference it.
Sure.
You're Heisenberg. You're goddamn right.
There you go. Now you got the context right.
I already knew it anyway, but I was just bringing that in anyway. He cuts it off at the literally cuts it off at the pass, and it's like, there you go. How do you do that? Which is a valid question.
Yep.
Like, you can't believe that guy has unbelievable luck.
Mm-hmm.
And now she gets to run a little truck stop diner all her own.
It all worked out.
Yes, it did. Linda sees nothing as usual. And then Lawrence is like, so what are we all looking at up here? They both look at him like, who's driving? It's like, oh, right. But that's not the end of the episode, is it, Dragon?
Nope.
What happens next?
Well, Doofenshmirtz spontaneously combust.
That's not far off.
No, it's an explosion of cactuses that bury him.
It's like, yep, I'm gonna need some new. The only thing that can make it worse is Flaming cactus.
There you go.
And a bunch of flaming cactus lands on top. It's got to be like one of the most painful
Well,
things.
cacti, cactuses. Well, you know.
You know,
what I mean.
you know what I mean. Yes, I know what you mean. Which you gotta admit, it's got to be like extremely painful.
Yeah.
Not only is it cactus, it's also on fire.
Well, make it worse.
How would you make it worse?
Lemon juice and razor blades.
Oh god, that would be worse. But
There you go.
fortunately, he didn't have any of that stuff near him.
Yep, thank God.
That was the earlier episode with the lemonade stand.
Yeah.
Except instead of razor blades, it was paper cuts.
Yep.
Which would still sting.
Yep. Guys, you're paying the bottom of us.
Yes. And I still remember you, like, when the robot got a paper cut, you didn't really like that.
No, I didn't. Still don't.
It's like, yeah, it's a robot, got a paper cut, and also reminiscent of the robot that sneezed because of pepper.
Yep. I don't like it. That's where I draw the line. That's where the realism just goes out the window.
That's where your suspension of disbelief ends.
Exactly. That's the line right there.
All right. Well, I think that does it for this week, unless you want to do some more food talk.
Nah, I think we're good.
I think some people actually eat cactus. So,
well, you can. It's not good, but you can.
Well, I mean, who knows? I've never had it.
You can drink cactus. You can use eucalyptus for cactus.
It's not usually recommended, though. It's usually recommended as like an absolute last resort, though.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened to the Saka.
Oh, God.
It's the quenchiest.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the closest we can have the Saka being drunk.
Yeah, it's cactus juice. It's the quenchiest.
It's funny when they were working on Korra.
I dare the live action people to include that scene in season 2.
Yeah, there's no way they're gonna do it.
They should.
They should. Anyway, in Korra, they had a similar, well, not to the same extent, but they had a similar scene they had at least a similar issue with Bolin in the first season. I think it's like episode 4 or 5. I think it's 5. Bolin, maybe it's 4. I don't know. The point is, it's after the Big Amon. It's after the Big Amon introduction. But Bolin goes on a date with Korra. And they have noodles together, and essentially Bolin gets drunk on noodles, and there's a big standards to do about it, and basically the defense was, well, SpongeBob did it with ice cream. Why can't we do it with noodles? And they got it.
Like, to be fair, to be fair, SpongeBob got drunk in the movie.
That's the thing. Well, still, he made the point.
It's a valid point, I guess.
There you go.
Waiter!
There's a little ditty of my best friend and his peanut guy. Waiter!
The movie's a classic.
Yep. But yeah.
Speaking of food, I want to try that Goobleberry Sunrise or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it looks good, and also I think they did that on the challenge.
Nice.
Between binging and Babish or that challenge show I showed you, Jacob, they do all the animated foods.
Yeah.
So they've done SpongeBob. I don't know. I think they've done that one, but I don't know.
That would make sense. I definitely think I saw that. Triple Gooberberry Sunrise. Yep, Babish did it. They also did Kelp Nougat Crunch. Which I would not eat because I'm not a big kelp fan. Want to talk about food more, or do you want to just end it here?
I'm tempted to talk about food more, but let's end it here.
All right, let's do that. All right, so thank you, folks, for joining us. And next week, you better be prepared for a big one because we are giving Across the Second Dimension the Recap-inator treatment. And then we already discussed it once previously on Animation Vacation, but we're going to basically redo it here. It's not going to be as in-depth as some of these other episodes, but we're going to basically go through it, do the usual running gags here, gritty reboots and all. But give it the Recap-inator treat, the good old Recap-inator treatment. So tune in for that next time, folks. And see you next time. I never got my pie.